Is that an HK slap for under $350? This is a Gforce Arms Blade 6, and for YouTube compliance, yes, we are in fact clear. So I'll kind of give you a quick rundown of the build that I got going on. This here has a dumb fucking Louis Vuitton Cerakote on it. We got a Crimson Trace red dot here. That's a pretty cheap red dot. An MP5 style telescopic brace. This is actually for, I believe, the MCX from SB Tactical. Really nice brace. Now we also have some, comes with, actually, I believe these are Magpul front and rear sights. I'm not sure, but it's a rear sight and front flip up. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of what you get when you buy this gun. It also comes with one standard Glock mag. This is a 33 one in the chamber. It's a pretty good mag. Bam. So you get a monolithic Picatinny rail here on the gun, as well as some on the sides. Each side, bam, you get two Picatinnies, one on the bottom as well. So there's a lot of room for attachments and things like that, and one on the rear, so that way you can apply your SB Tactical braces, because let's be real, I think they're the only good kind of pistol braces on the market. There was this other guy who bought a telescopic PDW brace. I'll put the clip in, and that shit sucks.
Just check it out. Like, it's not even locking out at all. Even if it gets in a position locked, it'll just collapse. So, you know.
So if you're gonna buy a telescopic brace, don't get it from AT3, get it from SB Tactical. They've been in the game the longest. They are expensive though, I will say. I have noticed a lot of people have issues with this gun whenever they try to run something other than either official Glock mags or the KCIs. KCI, I think, is the best aftermarket Glock mags that you can get. I believe they sell drum mags that will run kind of flawless with this thing. So if you wanted a cool thing with a drum on it, that is pretty dope. So would I recommend this PDW to somebody? That is a tricky question. So there are not many videos out there on this gun, but if you do look at the few that are, about, I'd say 50% of the people that have one have had problems.
Click. Click. Come on. Come on, Gforce. Ah.
Jam? Not a jam.
There is a jam.
In his video, he had the same issue. Last round, bullet hole open was not working. Now, while that isn't an absolute killer for a gun like this, like, it's still going to function. It's just not going to do that indicator to tell you that you're empty. It is still a function of the gun, and I'd argue, you know, that's not a good thing. Like, your gun's supposed to function pretty well if you're going to have one for sale. Honestly, it is a risky buy, so as long as you go into caution and understand that if you do get a lemon, you're going to have to deal with Gforce Arms support. Probability of you getting something that doesn't work, whether it be dead trigger or no last round bullet hole open, is fairly high, because this gun isn't too popular and the few videos that are out there on it have had those kinds of issues. So definitely keep that in mind. Luckily, I've taken it to the range, and just so you know, I'm not bullshitting. Here's some shitty iPhone footage that my buddy took when I was out there. I ran about 100 rounds through this thing, and this was like a limited run that they did with this dumb Louis Vuitton shit on here. But this has ran pretty flawlessly. I've yet to have a single malfunction. I mean, it is just a direct blowback system, you know, which is already pretty reliable, but I know the issues that people have kind of make me question on whether or not to recommend it. I think so long as you go in with the idea that, okay, I'm only spending around $350 or less than $400 for a gun like this, I would definitely expect it to have issues, and if it doesn't, then all the more power to you, you know what I mean? Me personally, the one that I've received, I love it. You know, I think Gforce Arms is doing a really good thing with their company. You know, making firearms for cheap, and they're out of Turkey, shipped to, I believe, New Vegas. New Vegas, shipped to Las Vegas, and they're sold from some FFL out there. Who would I recommend this to? If you wanted to buy a CZ Scorpion, can't afford it, you could find these things on Gunbroker for around $350. Plus shipping, you know, that it comes around to either 30, 20 bucks, something like that. Now maybe you're too poor to afford any of HK's amazing German-made products and you want this thing right here. That HK slap, I would recommend you get one of these. It's a pretty dope sub, PDW style gun, full metal construction. This thing dampens recoil like crazy because it's so fucking heavy. I think this thing weighs like around, if I had to guess, like 6 pounds. I'd say 6, 5.5, something like that. And you know, with attachments, things like a brace and things like that, it's going to make it a little more heavier. So if you like an all metal construction gun, you know, so you're not getting something cheap in polymer, kind of like a CZ Scorpion, that I don't think is dog shit, but I think it's actually a really good gun. I just think that they charge way too much. Most companies do, or tend to charge way too much for a PDW style direct blowback system. They're pretty cheap to make. You got to keep in mind something like the M11. This is a gun that was made for the pores, and this is kind of the upper receiver. Quite literally, it will pull the round back into a firing pin, slam it forward, bam, round goes off. This is a pretty cheap piece of fucking sheet metal aluminum, you know what I mean? So to be charging around $1,000 to $2,000 for a direct blowback PCC or PDW is way too fucking much. So I think if you're definitely on a budget, I would say, yeah, for sure, jump the gun and buy one of these. I can't speak to their quality control because I just want to let you guys know and be aware that there are definitely people out there that have had issues. Mine has not had any issues so far, so I'm very thankful for that. Yeah, I definitely would recommend you pick one of these things up. They're pretty fucking cheap, and if you have issues with it, I feel like Gforce Arm Support is more than willing to help either replace or fix your gun. I know that some people have ran into reliability issues whenever they run any other magazine that isn't like a KCI or a factory Glock OEM mag. So long as you run what it comes with, I'm pretty sure you shouldn't have any issues with it. Like I said, this thing is a blast to shoot. This thing is fun. I believe in the clip, I was out there on the range and I was kind of shooting it without a brace, you know, just kind of like a Draco, real ratchet like this. And it still was pretty easy to shoot because this full aluminum construction here is all that added weight really dampened the recoil, so I was able to shoot it, you know, without it being braced to my shoulder or anything like that. Anyway, if you are in the market for something cheap while still being really cool and kind of high quality because of this full metal construction, I definitely would recommend the Gforce Arms Blade 6. This is a fun gun to shoot. That is, of course, if you get one that works. Yeah, who would I recommend this for? If you have $350 to $400 to spend, I definitely would recommend it. If it's at your local gun store, just do a functions check and then make sure that that trigger shoots. Make sure that this bolt holds back, you know, even when you pull it back with a mag in. Then as long as you can verify that you're not getting a lemon, this is an excellent gun for the money. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. My Instagram handle, bam, right there. And yeah, this was just a quick post for the algorithms. It's my last video got deleted. And that's pretty much all I got to say about this thing. This is a really good budget option if you're looking for a CZ Scorpion clone with that HK slap. Alright, peace out.